Hello, everyone. I'm Christina. And today, of course, we're talking about our world that we're living in, the signs that are in the heavens, are, basically what Bible prophecy was talking about for thousands of years. Okay. Things that humanity was waiting on, things that our ancestors made sure that every generation knew was coming someday, even if it was scary to hear. And now we find ourselves seeing not just a sign here or there. No, they're everywhere and they're speeding up. And so it's important to talk about these things, right? And so I want to just remind everybody to hit the like button, definitely say hello, have a comment, subscribe, and share the videos where possible, because I'm sure you all know how valuable that is to YouTube creators. We already got 8 people here and 4 thumbs up. That is awesome. Hope everybody is doing well. All right. Alrighty. Let's kind of get into this just a little bit more. Okay, so we're living the Bible. We are what the Bible was talking about. We're those people. Okay. Even the ones that are getting more wicked, even with the dividing of the families, the crop losses, the Dust Bowl that California and Oregon is starting to turn into. Okay. All of this was all taught to us way ahead of time. All right. And so we can see these things in the news. And in a day like this, when you're seeing love grow cold. Hello, Adrian. It's so good to see you. Thank you for saying hello. I always love it when you do that. There's just something that I thought I should at least bring up, and that is that, a lot of times people are looking for a love. They know what love is. It's something that they just knew. How do you just know love if you've never had it? And how do you know if you've never had it unless you have that ability to understand what love is and to have felt it somewhere? And what I believe is that you're never going to find that true love, exactly that hardcore love here, because I think it's the love that we remember that God had for us when he made us. And that's why no matter what, you can't find it here. You can't exactly just find the perfect person. That's not how it's going to work out. You remember the love. So if there's anything that can help guide you back to that, is thinking along those lines. Somewhere inside of you, you do remember the love of your Father, and to hold on to that. Okay, it looks like I'm losing some people here. I'm sorry about that. Okay, but let's look at some of the signs that we're in right now. For instance, Tim Pool reports that hundreds of flights are canceled due to fuel shortages. Okay, but that's not the only shortages we're talking about. Okay, we've got thousands of cattle dropping dead where they are due to starvation in northern Mexico. And so that if the animals and the fish and the birds are dying, then we're next. It might take a while for it to trickle down to us, but that's where that is headed. Okay. California, like I mentioned, is turning into a dust bowl. This isn't going to be the first time that we've ever seen California do that. Hello, Christy. It's good to see you too. Oh, I'm always happy to see you guys, every single one of you. Hello, Teresa. God bless you also. It's good. Everybody's saying hello. That's wonderful. Okay, that's great. All right. And now we have change shortages. And you can remember all those times when you're like on your last nickel, payday's like tomorrow. And so you get your change jar and the cashier would look at you with just this sigh, like, okay, here, let's go start counting through all this change. Now, yesterday when I went to pay for something and I had the exact change, they actually were like, oh, we'll take all your change instead of dollars if you want, because they were that desperate for change. So we're not just looking at shortages here and there. They're kind of starting to hit all the different sectors. Okay. All right. We're also noticing folks more and more, because I told y'all So I had a bad feeling. I even mentioned it, but it's really just starting to hit this week. More and more stories. People are coming out again with the gaps on the shelves, but they're way worse than they were before. Like whole shelves just empty. And I had said something about Dollar General, I guess about a month ago, but it's not just my Dollar General now. You know, it's happening. It's just growing shortage. They say for people not to panic buy, but see, what preppers do is we subtly get things here little by little before the panic buying actually happens. Okay, but I don't know about you. I am getting those certain things going. You know, those last little things. Because what I'm meaning this title is that these labor pains are coming in waves. It seems like we get a break for a second, and then the next wave comes of all kinds of stuff, all kinds. All right. And I believe we're getting ready for that. And then very next one, you know, in labor, they just get harder and harder. And that's really what's happening. Okay. So panic buying is inevitable, but we prepare ahead of time as best as we can. All right. During all of these shortfalls, the U.S. has continued to allow people to flood our border. And Texas now has new 10 cities to deal with the overflow, and they are at the breaking point. So while everything is stressing the world, it is no different here in the United States. Everything seems to be on the edge of its breaking point. All right. Now I want to kind of switch gears for just a second. And I've noticed that in the news, they've been kind of diminishing the role of antibodies lately. And I think y'all know where I'm going with this. And I'd heard a comment from someone, you know, oh, we just don't know how long these antibodies can last if you've been exposed. Well, yes, we do. The University of Padova and Imperial College in London has found that antibodies last at least 9 months in the body. Okay, at least 9 months. And just to put this in perspective, everybody is looking that has been exposed to that stick, that they're already looking at their third stick by fall, probably. Like, yeah, they're already talking about the booster and everything. So as far as I'm understanding it, both can lessen the severity. Both of them can probably still get it. Both can maybe still transmit it. But one of them lasts longer and it doesn't have adverse reactions. Okay? Just wanted to throw that out there. All right. But there was an article about that, and it said and it was where I got a lot of this information just now about the antibodies. It says a recent study conducted by investigators from the Imperial College of London in collaboration with the University of Padova. Okay, must have gotten that a little bit mixed up. Those two colleges combined and did a study, and they found that antibody levels remain high for at least 9 months after this kind of infection, you know, no matter if the individual was symptomatic or asymptomatic. And I think that's super important to know. It's from contagionlive.com. Okay. And it's called something that I can't really, because if I say it, then just saying that word, it probably flags my channel. I don't really want to do that. Okay. So I just wanted y'all to have that perspective. We have a supreme ability, okay? We have for healthy people, we have an immune system. And I just want y'all to understand that. It is a supreme system. All right, but there's also a video that I had made in the past called When the Computer Hacks You. And I think that would be worth taking a look at if you get the chance. Because the minute that they can... that you can utilize the internet with your body, they're able to have access to you, like computer permissions. And so you don't see what's going on behind the scenes, but it's like you've been hacked. All right. All right. And then we've got another problem, because we're looking at an economic possibility, an economic woe that has probably been in the making for quite a while. And it's been in the news a lot about China possibly being able to nix the US dollar in favor of the yuan. And I think there's a lot of legalities Sorry, I just kind of lost my train of thought. I had a tiny little seizure there for a minute, but we were talking about the China US dollar thing. And like I said, yeah, there's a lot of legalities involved in how that's going to happen and some moves. But speaking of moves, as things continue to get worse and worse, behind the scenes, there have still been secret meetings about Israel. Okay. And it would be one thing if the Palestinians and Israel was like working it out themselves. But of course, they're getting a lot of cooperation from the president of the United States currently. Okay. They look like, with all of these new leaders coming together, that this is looking really possible, especially since Naphtali really wants that third temple. It's like it's in him. He wants it bad. All right. And I think that that might be a motivating factor in a lot of this. So just be watching for that, because Israel is that timepiece. And the closer we get to Israel getting peace and security declared, that's really midnight for me. Okay, that's like, well, I mean, not, I guess, the start of the tribulation, but that for me is a sign of destruction, a sign of a great shaking of the earth. I know it. It's going to be awful. So I'm just kind of watching. It's funny how they're doing everything behind the scenes. It's not in the open news. It's underneath. It's in the news, but it's not in the front. Okay, and they're even talking about how they're having secret meetings, and the Palestinians talking a lot to the U.S. president and King Jordan. There's a lot of talking going on, y'all. A lot. Hi, Knife Collector. No long time no see. The BRICS nations have been preparing for some time. They know the U.S. is going down, and they want to be standing afterwards. Oh yeah, everybody's getting ready in their own way, and they think that a lot of us can't see it, but we can. All right. Okay, so considering all the signs that we've been looking at, including drought, dying cattle, the alien disclosure to hide the fact that we have fallen angels here now, which is really a reflection of Revelation 12, when that war went on and God threw out Satan and all of his angels. Okay. And if you think about, the sign was just about 3.5 years ago, 3 years, 9 months ish ago. And so, I mean, if you thought about that, 1,260 days, yeah, they technically should be here with that math. Is it right? I don't know, but I'm saying the evidence that they're here, it's kind of all over the place, because they are talking about the two-state solution, peace and safety, the economic crumbling. It's just little by little, like we're just being taken apart piece by piece. It's almost like a Jenga set. You're just pulling out one stick and waiting, it's teetering, something wants to fall, but it just hasn't quite yet. Growing famine, it's going to reach U.S., the crop losses, the general shortages, and then what I consider is the beast system developing. I think it has to do with AI and the all-seeing eye, which would require tracking, okay, and which would explain the increase in technology before our generation. It needed a vessel to come in, the spirit, right? So we've got other signs that we will look for: continued rioting, a rise in evil, wars and rumors of wars, cataclysmic quakes and tsunamis, nuclear exchange, one world digital currency, execution camps, and the third temple. All of this is in our future, and it's getting closer every day. And I know that scares a lot of people, but who is like God? Whom shall we fear? Because we may walk through the valley of the shadow of death, but we don't have to fear what? Evil, because thou art with me, right? And you'll be able to see more and more what that means. That no matter what's going on in the news, so no matter what's going on around you, that you try not to be too troubled. Just keep your eyes on God. Keep them on him. Just hold on as tight as you can and have faith, all right? Because we got a lot coming that looks very intimidating. But I think that people also kind of miss the fact that there's going to be a lot of miracles. There's going to be a lot of glory. There is, because even in the storm, God is there holding us, is what I'm saying. No matter how bad it gets, I think miracles will be happening, and that our faith will be more important than we ever believed in the coming days as the waves get harder. Okay. Hello, Will Embry. Hello, Ben Gone. Gave human women makeup sorcery. Good evening, y'all. I mean, if you think about it, so would hair dye and a number of, colored contacts, disguises, I guess. Disguises. Oh, thank you, Adrian, so much. Everybody is so awesome. I mean, y'all got to be seeing these things yourselves, too. You've got to be seeing it and feeling in your own hearts, too. And when you start seeing everything happening, I'm telling you, I'm really looking. I'm going to be watching this fall because I'm extremely concerned with a lot of people's immune systems now. And I'm just thinking that maybe this winter could be harder than we ever really thought it could be. I'm really worried about that. I'm worried about our supply chain, but because I know that you guys prepared, I know that you guys are all smart, that a lot of you can, feel the Holy Spirit and understand what God's been saying to you. So a lot of us have prepared, a lot of us. So just remember, it was God that got us this far. Everybody is so awesome. I've been busy in the church helping a friend who had a couple of strokes and studying prophecy. Oh, that's awesome. Have any of you kind of just noticed that it's all, you can feel like the harvest is getting ripe? I'm talking that part where people are just ready to be ministered to. They're ready to be grabbed out of that fire. And with a famine of the word even coming, people are thirsty. Because, see, we've got too many false preachers and false teachers, and so they're thirsty inside. They haven't been fed. So when they really hear it, they're very thirsty. They're hungry, and they're ready to go. And it's just what God can just, put in your mouth what to say. All right. And then there was something interesting. People have been talking about lowered birth rates. People aren't having as many children. They're worried about how many babies are being born. And I just think that because of certain medications that are out, that there might be a sudden surge in babies not being born because of the medical treatment that's been going on. And that might be a big, so if you just notice the rate of babies has gone down a lot, don't be surprised about that. And a lot of people have had visions where they're like, oh, there's no children under a certain age in these visions. How many of us have heard that? I know I have. I didn't personally have those. I always tell y'all when it's my personal vision, I've had it. But when I heard it, it wasn't like I heard it once. I heard it several times over years from several different people that the children are missing under a certain age. It's really weird. Hello, Sherry. Good to see you. Hello, Stroker 97K 1500 D3C zinc ivermectin. Yep, I like that vitamin C. Anytime I get any kind of sniffle, I grab for it. It's got rose hips in it too. It's so funny. Did y'all see that commercial about this hustler on the street? He's like, even though I'm a hustler, I'm in danger. Get your shot. Get your shot. I'm like, I don't know. I shouldn't say what I'm really thinking. Anyway, all righty. All right. So this is where we're at. This is where we're at. Okay. The crops aren't coming back. They're getting fewer and fewer. And this is where I expect everyone who has prepared, that I'm expecting that you also prepared your hearts, and that you're not going to be running around frantic and crying and sobbing in your hands, but that you're going to have a shoulder if need be. We're going to be the strong ones now, not running around scared, not afraid. Okay. Even in the valley of the shadow of death, we will not fear. And we're going to start embodying that. That's what I expect. If I was in this world right now with this kind of trouble coming on me, I definitely wouldn't want to see a bunch of scared Christians run around. You understand what I'm saying? That's not us. That's not what we're supposed to be anyway. So, hello, Sherry. Thank you, Will. Thank you very much. All right, you guys. I want to go ahead and get off the live stream for now, but I promise I'll be back a lot more often. Just had a lot of stuff going on. I know y'all know it happens sometimes, but you will see more of me. Okay. I love y'all. Thank you all for coming by. Don't forget to share and subscribe and like. And I'll talk to you soon. Okay. Bye.